So here we are, back at it, part 2 of the shed build. Enjoy, guys. So I've stripped the cladding off the end of the shed. I'm biting the bullet here and going for it. And let me just bring you around. And I've refitted several layers of cladding on the bottom of here. The bits I need to fit because I won't be able to do them after I've got it in position. I've also got the detailing strip down the far corner there. And I've butted the planks to it, so that's that end. And there is a detailing strip to go on this end as well afterwards, but we'll be fine. About to get you on handheld here, I'm afraid. And that side has got wood preservative on it. And Abe's workshop's going to be green from now on. But yeah, I've done that, and I've fitted as much of the cladding as I need to fit. There's the detailing strip here. I fitted as much of it as I need to fit to be able to put it in position. So my next step is going to be to put the sort of carcass that I've got in position against the old shed. Well, after a bit of bashing about and a couple of G-clamps and the use of a lever, it's all in position. I suppose we better start sticking them together. I've pre-drilled some holes in here, that's why they're going in so easy. One in the top. And that clamp can go away now. Well, that's that side fastened. Next procedure, drill and do the same thing in the back. Do the back upright. Cross drill the two floor joists together to keep the floors in together, and then I can I think the next procedure from there is going to be to get the piece of plywood to go on the top and just put it in position just in case we have some rain, because I don't want rain running into the shed. So yeah, I'll do this fastening and then we'll do that. I've come across a slight design flaw. The back corner, yeah, that sits correct. The height of the sheet of ply I've just placed on top up against the old OSB board roof, and it sits pretty much dead flush that end. So if I show you the front end, yeah, as you can see, the front end is sitting about 10 mil high, and the reason for that is this header board here, because it sticks back further than the original. Obviously it's making the angle higher. I think what I'll do, I'll just whip the ply off, take this board off and flip it around 180 degrees so that it sticks out the other way by the same amount and is flush on the inside, and that should drop that down by just about the right amount. So I reversed the top plate so that it sticks out this side instead of this side, and that's dropped it down, and now it's at the perfect height again. So yeah, I've trimmed the front off the piece of ply. It was sticking out. It was a 2.4 meter sheet. I've trimmed that off to the correct thickness. See if I can bring you in. Oh no, it's not going to like it with a light. No. Oh, I might get there. Yeah, you can see I'm flush with the original sheet of OSB. Look at all those spiders' webs. They love it in my shed. So with the recycled cladding off the other end, off the original end, I'm refitting it on here. I did lose a couple of boards. They cracked and broke when I was pulling the nails out. But because I've got quite a big window in here, I just, chopped the good bits out of the broken boards to do the short bits. And I've still got enough to do it all. So that's lucky, I think the word is. So I've got so far with the cladding of that end wall. I think I'm going to leave it there until I've got the roof joist in. Yeah, I'm going to leave it to give me better access before I clad it. So, much the same as I did on the back wall, clad the front wall. So as a backstop for the glass in the window, I've just cut a piece of this 3/4 by 1.25 inch, and I'm about to screw it down. And I'll be doing the same on the top and the two sides, and then we're ready to fit and seal the glass in. So I've fitted the inner trim that the glass will sit against. And I think, well, while I've got it at this stage, I'm going to put a coat of wood preservative on all this lot, all the way round. And I also need to do the top couple of panels. As you can see, I only come so far up, and then I cut the odd shaped ones to fit. So the end trim is on, that needs a coat as well. So So I'll get on and do that, and that will be this end treated. And these two pieces of timber here are going to be the outer timbers on the outside of the glass, so we'll give them a coat while they're in the solid, I think. Please excuse the mess in the workshop at the moment, but as you can see, I'm in the middle of a major project, which is the building of the shed extension anyway. I have a problem with the existing part of the building, in that these roof trusses, as you can see, I got some LED lights up in the roof here. I don't show those very often. They're only sort of 1.25 inches by inch, and OSB board on top, which isn't the most rigid of stuff. And let me show you the ceiling problem, the extent of the sag. So I've got a nice straight piece of structural timber here, and it's 38 by 63 millimeters. If I put it tight to the ceiling on the front edge of the shed, on the high point, and touch it up against, as you can see, there's probably about 70 mil of sag. I mean, it will come back with a push, a bit of jacking and what have you, but I need to address this before I refelt the entire roof. So I've cut a piece of timber to length. It's going to sit in there. I've pre-drilled it with some screws to go into the upright legs of the building. I can set the gap, and it's going to go, let me see, around there. That's it. That's going to basically hold the end of the timber up. It'll have an L bracket on it. So if I whack a screw in there, and then hold that up tight. Oh. That will leave the correct gap here for a timber to slot in. Then with an L bracket on it, we'll be happy. And I'm going to do something similar the other end. And this bar on the wall is there for a purpose other than to hold the beam up, but I have a cunning plan for this going forward. That'll come to light, but oh, goodness knows when. So all in place, the beam up. It's screwed up through the crossbar. There's a couple of screws up through this way, and I put a bracket on there as well, which I had just bent at that angle. And yeah, the roof is now flat again. Now the next bar with the light on there has come back to flat since I put this one in, and the next one along, oh, I don't like moving the camera on you, this one here I put in some 6 months ago, what have you, as a temporary measure because it was sagging quite badly. It's just sat up there on a block. I think I need to screw it all in place, but that part of the roof is flat. But the next beam, the one there, the darker one that you can see, the furthest one away of these two, is really sagging badly, and the roof between that beam and the end of the shed is sagging quite badly, so I need to do a bit of work there as well, but much in the same fashion as what I've already done. One step closer, glass fitted. So we've completely refelted the whole roof. The whole shed, including the old bit, has all had a coat of wood treatment. There's a cat coming into my shot. Hello, cat. Yeah, and as far as the outside of the shed is concerned, it's completely finished. Now let me zoom down there, and you can see on the end of the shed is a box with a sloping roof. Looks a bit like a chicken shed, doesn't it? The sort of thing you'd lift the lid on and take the eggs out. But anyway, all will be revealed as to what that's all about. But yeah, perhaps another coat of stain on that fresh wood on the new part. And the rest of the shed has all had a coat of stain, and obviously new felt throughout. So yeah, with the bits of timber I had left over and the bits of cladding and felt and what have you, we've built a little extension on the extension. Let's go inside the shed and I'll show you what that's for. Okay, oh, while I was at it, little turnbuckle on there to stop the door flapping about in the wind when I got the door open. Well, I think the air hose gives the game away. Yeah, the compressor is now outside the shed. I mean, it's a fairly large unit, takes up a bit of space, and I had a bit of space outside. So I killed two birds with one stone, saved a bit of space, and kept the noisy compressor outside as well, just to reduce the noise a bit when it is being used. I don't use it a great deal. There is an access hatch on the little enclosure outside that I can just open it up on a hinge. The front hinge is away for servicing and what have you, and for draining the water from the tank. Windows flashing me out a bit. I'm starting on the electrics. The compressor is simply going to plug into a double socket there. It's at the bench. I can switch it on as and off and on as and when I need it. I don't even need to keep it plugged in. I'm going to put another power socket over in that corner, another double one. I got to go and get myself some cable, and I want to tuck the cable away, you know, in and up through the studding and what have you. I fitted a light in the ceiling. I haven't got it switched on at the moment. Just another one of the LED tube lights. And I've got a sort of power point there for charging and what have you. A couple of brackets on the wall. And I've got my sort of cordless vacuum and my cordless drill battery charger there. Yeah, just trying to use, as I normally do, use the cubic feet of the shed as opposed to the square footage on the floor to make full use of every bit of space that I've got. So yeah, that's where I am at present. The outside of the building is complete. We've still got stuff everywhere, as you can see, all my offcuts of wood and goodness knows what. So major reshuffle of the inside of the building to be done. But all in all, my chop saw's still there, the floor, as you can see, all sorts of junk going on at the moment. We can sort that out. But yeah, my thinking is, let me just bring you back a bit. So my thinking is, across the back wall here, to have a sort of kitchen worktop, the same sort of benches I've used for everything else, right the way across here. I'll build a framework in, shelving underneath, the usual spec. I've got various bits and pieces. I'm going to, the worktop will come to about here. If I buy a 2 metre piece, the 1.7 and the 300 will give me a little L shape in here. And my thinking is to get all the toolboxes from that end, bring them down this end, and all my storage and tools, you know, all the stuff I want to keep in a cleanish environment down this end. Sort of office space, shall we call it. And then back at that end, behind the camera, let me just turn the camera around. Oh my goodness, look at the mess. There's stuff everywhere at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to have a tidy up. But yeah, I mean, all the tools that are out I'm using at present. So, you know, all various bits and bobs. So I do need to have a big clear up. But yeah, it's a work in progress. But that will leave me, when I take all the toolboxes and bits of kit and what have you up to that end of the shed, into the new end, will give me that big area there beyond the lathe, the whole worktop surface area there, will give me that as an area where I could put the fabled milling machine. Now I keep getting asked, let me come back into shot, I keep getting asked if I've decided on what milling machine I'm going to get. Still totally undecided. I'll see at what sort of space and headroom I've got. Something around the size of a, I know I'm not going to go Walco. Nothing against Walco, not you know, I'm sort of, the machinery's great, but at the price range, I'm probably going to go to something along the lines of the WM, is it WM18? WM18V, something like that Walco machine, on that sort of scale. I want to get as big a machine as will fit. You know, I could buy the little WM12, 14, what have you, but it won't give me that scope for the larger parts. So I'm going to buy the biggest milling machine that will fit in the available space. And that way I won't be thinking in 12 months' time, I wish I'd bought a bigger machine. Which sometimes I think about with the Walco, I wish I'd bought, you know, a larger version of the WM180, maybe the 240 or bigger again, you know. Because, you know, lathe-wise, I would have had room. In fact, at a push, you know, I could probably get something like a Myford, you know, in the workshop here, but they just don't turn up for the sort of money that I had available at the time. Anyway, that's another story. So as I'm pretty much done on the carpentry side of things for the time being, I think I need to have a bit of a tidy up. So I'm going to clear this lot down, and we've had some viewer mail and some gifts from subscribers and what have you. So I'm going to show those. There's some stickers, bits and bobs and what have you. So I'm going to have a real good clean up in here, or certainly clear the decks a bit, and then I'll show you what's arrived. Had a good tidy up, and I've now got a bit of space to show you what's come in the mail. So many of you who watch my channel will have seen me counterboring Allen bolts, you know, for the cap-headed Allen bolts. And I tend to use a standard drill, so deep, and then finish the bottom shoulder of the holes off with a flat bottom drill. I've just grabbed some 16mm diameter ones here just for, you know, easier for you to see. But yeah, that's the sort of standard thing that I do. And I have to keep a flat bottom and a standard drill around in various sizes. And I've got a bit of a collection of them. You know, I've got, I think I've got the M5, a couple to do the M5 and a couple to do the M6s, and these are normally for the M10 Allen bolts, or M8s I should say. Anyway, so yeah, I do keep, you know, a flat bottom drill in the size needed, the clearance on the cap-headed bolt, and you've got to swap between drills and what have you, and it's hard going. So one of my subscribers picked up on this, guy called Mats, and Mats, thank you so much for these. I'm absolutely thrilled and can't wait to give them a go when I get back to doing some machining. And it's a full set from M4 to M12. I haven't opened these up. Let me just open them up. If I get the largest one out, you will, it's easier for you to see. But yeah, from actually I think it might have even been M3. M3, so we got 3, 4, 5, it should be 6, 8, 6, 8, 10, and the M12. Counterboring bits, dedicated counterboring bits. Basically like a milling cutter with a pilot on the end for counterboring cap-headed Allen bolts. Or anyway where you need a counterbore where the size is appropriate. But yeah, I mean, they look to be very sharp. Fantastic, and I can't wait to give them a try. So Mats, thank you so much for those. I'm absolutely thrilled. So I'm going to put them away in a safe place. I might actually make a little wooden stand to keep them in with the, you know, perhaps with the drill, the clearance drill, and the counterbore bit in a little stand perhaps at some stage. But again, Mats, thank you so much for those. Absolutely wonderful. Can't wait to put those to use. So another regular viewer sent me a box of goodies. Stephen, thank you so much. Absolute box of treasures. I'm over the moon, absolutely thrilled and astounded by your generosity. I know you went to some sort of auction and what have you. I wish we had those sort of auctions around where I live. But as you can see, guys, the box full of goodies. Oh, it would take me a whole video alone to go through it. But everything you can imagine. I mean, box of gloves. I mean, the gloves are always useful. A box, I should say. Packet of gloves. Rubber gloves, you know, great. Various files. Look at that beast. Absolute monster. Wiltshire files. Second cut. Made in Australia, no less. And last, but by no means least, we have some stickers from Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. Emma in Australia. Thank you for those, Emma. Absolutely marvellous. If you haven't seen Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop, go and take a look. All sorts of different types of machining, steam engines, goodness knows, you know, you never know what you're going to be working on next. And that's Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. So yeah, guys, check her out. If any of you watched any of the latest Tip Blitz 19, Emma was the instigator of that sort of collaboration between different YouTubers. And she also sent me a 2019 Clash at the Bash. There's the guys, Keith Fenner and A-Bomb in the background with their famous World 4-Jaw Clocking Championship. I believe Emma was at the Bash in the US this year, and she sent me one of the Clash at the Bash stickers as well. So I really must, now that I've got the room, I really must get myself a sticker board to start getting these stickers up. So that's, oh, let me bring you in. Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. Take a look, guys. Well, I think that just about brings this one to a close, guys. Externally, apart from a bit more wood stain to match it all up, externally the shed is complete. Now the work begins on the inside of the shed. So yeah, probably I'm going to order in some materials, a bit of kitchen worktop. I've got a bit of timber left over. I might have to get a few more bits and bobs, but I'm going to start the build in the other end. You know, getting some bench basically, and sorting everything out in the workshop, and then think about ordering the fabled legendary milling machine. I still haven't made my mind up, as I say, but yeah, I'll find one, I'm sure. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you all very soon. Cheers now.